You finally put a ring on it, Mike.
Oh my God, and they have your name?
Yeah, finally, yeah.
Oh, it has your name. That's
that's awesome.
They
have quotes too. So look before you look at that one. Don't look at the inside of that one yet. Don't do it yet. Did you see it or no? Okay.
I just saw
so the first one, it says, two roads diverged and I took the one less traveled by, right? And so like at that point, I didn't know like if I was going to be the GOAT or not, you know?
Album.
Yeah, exactly. No, yeah, it's a Robert Frost quote, actually. You know,
Taylor Swift. No.
yeah. Say you.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the 827th episode of the Poker News Podcast. We are back at Level 9 Studios in Las Vegas. I am joined by Mike Holtz, but you're not going to see Kyna here because we have a special fill-in guest in Lindsey Kludt. Thank you for taking Kyna's place here.
Absolutely. I'm so glad to be here with
you. Now, you're really good
friends.
Only
for her.
You're right. You're really good friends. So she called in a favor. Is that what? Yeah, had to come here, sit here with me and Mike, right?
It's a good place to spend a Wednesday.
So Team Hot Dog. So
yes.
team,
I was just going to say.
Exactly.
Oh, I didn't even notice.
I didn't even notice the,
Did you have that on the whole time?
Yeah.
Team Hot Dog.
I never take it off.
That's fair.
Hot dog for life.
There we go.
Hot dogs for life. All right, sick. Hell yeah.
Well, this episode is going to be a fun one. We are going to talk about a bunch of different stuff. Kyna is going to be with us in a way. She sent a clip. She's up at the Run Good Poker Series in Reno. So we're going to touch base with her.
She's here in spirit.
You're right. She is.
Spirit,
yeah.
And she wants to be here, but she also wants to go up there and win a ring. Speaking of which, you know, they're not these rings, but
Shazam.
bam.
We're in the building. Boom.
2 Player of the Year rings, right?
Yep. From WSP.com.
From 2021 and 2023.
Yep. So I just got the blue one in. So yeah.
What color is the other one?
Red.
Red
And blue.
Which years? What?
2021's the red one, and then the blue one's 2023.
Nice.
Yeah.
Very
so,
cool.
Pretty sick.
Yeah.
I feel ridiculous wearing them anywhere. This is the first time I've ever worn them. I just got the blue one, obviously, but like, I think I'll rock it at Tournament of Champions this year at least, because then it's like, you know.
I mean, do it. I wear the bracelet on charity events. Usually that's what I do for there, because people, you know, that's where you got to go. You got to have some fun. People don't play poker seriously there, so they want to see a bracelet.
Sure, of course.
They'll probably want to see some POY rings too.
Yeah, no, for sure. And that's a cool thing is like, as far as like nowadays, like the WSP bracelets, if they're not main events, they're like not as good as they used to. They used to be like the solid gold or whatever. And so the circuit rings too, like I have a bunch of them and they're not worth too much.
I just have a bunch of them.
Well, yeah. I didn't mean it like that, but you know, I got to see them as MJ, no big deal. Anyway, no, but these are, I think, the coolest thing they give out as far as like, you know, the stuff. So
yeah. I wouldn't mind winning one. I'm never going to win one. I don't play online poker hardly ever. So.
No, this represents like I gained 30 pounds, I gained 46 pounds. You know what I mean? This is like I lost this much sleep. You know, so yeah, it was a grind.
Are you playing again this year? Like, are you trying to win it again, or are you grinding hard?
They're not doing it again this year.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know. I don't want to spoil anything, but I think there might be some. There's none in Michigan or Pennsylvania either. Cough. So I don't know. You know.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Weird. You know.
Lindsey, do you play online poker at all?
A little bit, yeah. Here and there. It's always like me and Kyna and Jamie and Haley and Krista. We have a group chat. We are the hot dogs. And we'll be just sweating each other and online
play on
stuff.
WSOP or?
Yeah. Just
wait, what's your name on there?
You asked who?
You asked who have we played?
No.
Okay.
I'm never playing anything other than like $15 dailies and stuff. But
okay, smooth. Yeah,
you got a couple smooth ones. Yeah, a couple good ones. There's
No, WSP.com, especially on Sundays, they have a really good schedule. So
absolutely.
Hopefully they'll get a better one for the rest of the week. But Sunday's great.
I will real fast. Haley, she got second in like the 565 Sunday.
Yeah, good for her.
This
She's
week
crushing
for like $37K. It just was it's her biggest score to date. So she absolutely crushed.
She's killing it. She's extra toasty, I would say.
She is extra toasty.
Well, you mentioned Kyna a minute ago. Why don't we go ahead? She sent us a video clip. She's up there at the Atlantis in Reno for the Run Good Poker Series. Let's check in with Kyna.
Hi, Poker News friends. I am in Reno right now playing the Run Good series. Right now I'm playing the $300 deep stack event. It's going good. It was really fun. Got in last night. Met some friends for dinner and then played cash until 3 a.m. with this guy. I don't know how we're still alive here, but here we are. But I look pretty tired right now, but hopefully don't get a nap because we want to make a bag and cash tomorrow, you know? So hope things are going okay in Vegas and you guys are enjoying Lindsey. She's my hot dog homie. I can't wait till she's coming out here to meet me this weekend. So yeah, wish me luck. I'll see you throughout the week. Hopefully some of you guys can come out here and play too this weekend. The main is Friday and Saturday, and it's $600, and it's going to be awesome. Come visit me. I'm an ambassador.
All right. Well, Kyna is up in Reno. She's going to be there next week as well. But Lindsey, you're going to fill in for not once, but twice, right?
Yeah, 2 times. And I'm actually going to join her out there too.
Oh,
yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
Well,
fly out on Friday for the
eventually Kyna will be back in studio here with Mike and I. But unless you do a really good job, and maybe we'll just bring in another chair.
Yeah, right. Perfect.
All right. Well, let's talk about an interesting story that broke in the poker world. This involved Neymar, who is really one of the biggest sports stars in the world. Maybe not here in the United States because he plays football or soccer, as I might call it.
Sure.
But he is huge, Brazilian player, just one of the biggest names in the sport. And
he's
also
big in Brazil, baby. He's big everywhere,
Everywhere, yeah.
He plays poker too. And he's been at the World Series of Poker. I remember he made a deep run in his Super Turbo and busted in like 48th, but the whole poker media was like, what if he wins this thing? Yeah. What if he actually wins a bracelet? How big would that have been?
Yeah, so I'm playing an event. It was either last year or the year before that. And I sit down at the table and I'm like, what's crack-a-lacking, my boys? I always like to be friendly. I'm an idiot when I come to the table. And I'm like, what's popping? And no one really says anything. And I'm just like, why are you guys all so upset? And they're like, you replaced Neymar, man. I was like, oh, my bad. They were like, he was only here for a couple of hands. So I was like, oh shit, whoops. But that's crazy. Like he's as big a celebrity as they come.
Dude,
yeah. And he was sponsored for a few years.
Yeah, he was a PokerStars ambassador.
Wait, is he not?
Years.
Is he not sponsored?
I don't think any longer, but he definitely
I thought
was.
He was a part of GG. I'm just a hide up idiot, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah, who knows? The thing with these celebrity sponsorships sometimes is they're like they burn brightly for a little bit and then they kind of just fade away. And none of these sites ever make a big deal about when it ends, right? Because they still want to have
why would
that.
they?
Yeah. So,
but
but
they're busy. It's usually just normal. It's not some big controversy. It's just he's got other, obviously, as you've said, he's one of the biggest stars in the world. So he's just got other stuff to do.
Right.
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah.
Like birthday parties. Like kids' birthday parties.
Sometimes you got to have a kid's birthday party,
Let's just, we're going to play a little clip here. This is what kind of caused the controversy, if you will. It's only a few seconds long. Let's take a look. All right, so there you have it. You can clearly see Neymar at a birthday party for, I'm assuming, his kid. And on the phone is some sort of online poker site. And he's clicking buttons. I don't know, it caused a stir, Lindsey, because should he be playing online poker during a kid's birthday party?
I mean, I'm the wrong person to ask because I want to be anywhere but a kid's birthday party.
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
And so, I mean, that's one side of it that okay, this is, there's balloons and animals and there's all sorts of stuff that the kids are probably paying attention to more than him at that moment. And he's probably, a little bored. So there's one angle. And then there's probably another angle of can you just take one day off? Why are you playing so much? Why do you need,
Yeah. I don't know. I think let Neymar do what Neymar's got to do, baby boy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If Neymar's got to play a little poker, Neymar's got to play a little poker. And I don't know. I think he's earned the right to. How much money does that man made in his career? Generational wealth? I don't know. That guy can play poker wherever. He could literally meet the president right now and he could play poker while meeting him and it would be acceptable. You know what I mean? He's cruising. He's lived a life. As far as being a parent, I mean, I don't know. Maybe you want to pay a little more attention to your kid, but I don't know. I'm sure that kid is living a fantastic life. I'm sure he's a good father, and I don't know. He's playing a little poker on his phone. So it's the same thing. It's
I've got to imagine on your way in these 2 years that you won these Player of the Year rings that you were playing some online poker, out at dinner or out at some kind of special occasion.
No, 100%. I've won multiple tournaments at dinners. Yeah. No, dinners. Yeah, my wife's upset about that kind of stuff, actually.
Well, imagine Neymar's a wife or a girl or whatever it is.
I'm sure she's real upset. She could cry with 123 million tears. You know what I mean?
Well, it begs the question, though. He's not playing for the money, clearly, right?
Yeah.
What tournament is he playing there?
Yeah. I'll marry Neymar tomorrow. You know what I mean? That's a great gig.
I do want to know. I would like to know, what was that tournament? Was it a $1.20, sit and go tournament, or what was it?
Oh, no, I'm sure. He plays all the high stakes stuff on GG and everything, or PokerStars. I don't know. I see it if you watch Spragg, he plays against them all the time. You know what I mean? And he's always on there grinding.
I think it's cool in that if he's no longer a sponsored pro, we're still getting that benefit of he's showing off poker, right?
It's fantastic,
Yeah.
And I think somebody of Neymar stature, assuming he comes to maybe the World Series of Poker again, he's friends with Andre Akari, one of the biggest names in Brazilian poker, and many others. Like I said, when he was at the World Series of Poker that year, it was an energy about it. He literally had security guards stationed around because people would come up to him, try to get a picture. I wanted a picture with him. I didn't get it, but it would have been
interesting.
fun.
Yeah, you couldn't even get a picture with him?
I mean, I didn't go up like, Neymar, look over here. Take it,
Yeah,
But if the opportunity would have presented itself, I would have swung in there and then put it in a frame on the table. Like,
what's that? Let's see this.
This one is, you know who that is?
Oh, that's the cat from Billions.
Yeah, yes. Wags from Billions.
Yeah,
and so many,
sushi scene.
He's in tons of other stuff.
Breaking Bad. He was in Gale. He was Gale in Breaking Bad.
Oh, Gale, right?
Yeah.
That's David Costabile. He plays poker too, and he was down at the PSPC in the Bahamas when I got to interview him and take a nice picture. So that was a lot of fun.
Yeah, no, that's sick. Yeah, he seems like he'd be a good guy.
I like to take pictures with the celebrities, not necessarily for like, honestly, what I like, I'd take them, put them on Facebook, and then my parents are like, oh, he didn't waste his life at poker. Right?
No, 100%. Yeah.
Like I got a picture with Ted Danson at a charity event. And I think
I saw that. Yeah, I thought that was really cool.
I think that's what really made my parents think like, ooh, cheers. Like, okay, Chad's not wasting his life.
No, that's pretty sick. Yeah, no, I think we can all vouch you're not wasting your life. I think you're doing pretty good out here.
Lindsey, let me ask you, who's the most famous person you've met thanks to poker?
Oh, man.
I'm putting you on the spot, Mike. I'll ask you the same question too.
I'm trying to think. There's a lot. I've gotten really lucky to play with some of the greats. Gosh.
Like you got a look on your face. Like,
I'm trying to think.
Yeah,
I played with
famous.
I played 5-10 with Russell Westbrook at the Wynn one time.
I've played with Russell. Yeah.
I think he might be the most famous.
He used to play at the Wynn all the time.
Yeah. Let me think. I think he's probably the most famous person I've ever played with.
Got to come to some of these charity events. That's where they get the celebrities to go in. Lawrence Taylor was at the Charity Series of Poker event at the Palms.
Oh yeah, I did see that.
When Matt Stout got him there during Super Bowl weekend, so that was pretty cool.
Yeah, no, it's sick. I've seen a lot of those CSOP events attract a lot of the big celebrities. That's pretty cool. I gotta go. I gotta go to one. I just I always forget.
Wow, real fast. If I can plug myself.
Yeah.
And not myself, but a friend of mine actually asked me to help out with a charity event if she has a completely separate, foundation that she just brought about. It's called Paws of Hope, and it's helping people who are coming from the streets and are getting into rehabilitation centers and are unwilling to go often because they have an animal with them.
Okay.
And so it provides temporary and safe housing for their animal so that they can go to a rehab.
What's it called?
Somewhere. It's called Paws of Hope.
Oh, and how can people donate to that?
It will. So there's. I think the website is pawsofhope.org. And yeah, I can probably link it somewhere and stuff.
Yeah.
And they have a bunch of different stuff that they're doing, but they just sort of asked me in on a capacity of they're hoping to do an annual charity poker tournament.
Oh, yeah, that'd be sick. Yeah.
And so we just settled on a date during the World Series of Poker. It'll be June 15th. And they were like, we just think this would be fun. Will you help us kind of structure and organize a tournament?
Okay, that's cool. Yeah.
So in terms of talking too about like big names, like I'm hoping we can invite some fun big people that'll draw a crowd. And,
hopefully we can get Neymar there.
Help out. Yes.
Yeah.
Hopefully we can get
Sounds
Neymar.
like a plan.
Exactly. Yeah.
I mean, if he's willing to play online poker during his kid's birthday party, I got to assume he's willing to come to a charity poker event during the WSOP. So.
Yeah, they're basically the same thing.
Yeah. I will say real fast, I thought the way that the article was painted was a little excessive and over the top about, does he have a problem? Is he, a...
Yeah, I think we probably shouldn't speculate. I mean, I guess we can speculate all we want, but I don't know. I don't think just playing one,
Yeah, I think what the article was trying to capture, it certainly was trying to capture that tone. It wasn't trying to suggest it because it was other people, their reactions to it on social media.
The social media reactions were all broad. That's kind of why I figured that was like the topic. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think like a lot of his fans think like, why are you spending so much time on poker when you should be focused on football? You got to win for us, but you're playing poker and you're playing it during your kids.
Neymar?
I mean, I'm going to guess just off the top of my head, like 30-ish.
Oh, wow. I would have thought he was older than that.
It could be. I mean, I got my phone here.
37.
That's what I was thinking.
Because he's been one of the best for a long time.
That's what I was thinking. Like, I remember, oops, that's my phone. Whoops, a daisy.
All right. Neymar is 32 years old, born February 5th, 1992. So, yeah.
It is wild sometimes to think of like someone that big, done so much. And like, he's a year older than me. Like, that's... Or no, I'm sorry, a year younger than me.
Yeah, he's a year younger than me, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
I was born in 91, 92. Yeah.
1990. You said 91, 92?
Well, because I was saying him in 92.
Okay. Somewhere in the area. We're not exactly sure. We'll figure it out.
All right. Well, let's move on. But before we do, I want to thank our sponsor for this episode of the Poker News Podcast, and that is Global Poker, which allows you to play legal online poker in the United States. They just wrapped up their U.S. Poker Open series, which was kind of at the same time as the U.S. Poker Open over here at the PokerGo studio in Las Vegas. If you use the bonus code PokerNews and make a $10 purchase bonus to receive 150,000 gold coins plus 30 free sweeps coins, that is Global Poker. Check it out on PokerNews.com. All right, we're going to shift gears a little bit and talk what is a sad story, and that is the passing of a true poker legend in Crandell Addington. And I wanted to talk about him on the show because of his legacy and the fact that I think it kind of went underappreciated by the modern day poker player. Not to any fault of their own. Crandell has been out of the game for decades. But what he did for poker, I think just the world needs to know. He is a Poker Hall of Famer. He was there at, what was it, even before the World Series of Poker? It was the Texas Road Gamblers convention up in Reno. Tom Moore threw this in 1969, and this is when Jack Binion and Benny Binion went up there. They saw it, they liked the idea and said, hey, are you going to do this again? He said, no. Do you mind if we do it in Vegas? And he said, sure, go ahead. And that is what became the World Series of Poker in 1970 at Binion's Horseshoe. And Crandell Addington was one of 7 players who was there playing in that very first one. If you remember, that was a cash game. They voted on who they thought the best player was. They all voted for themselves. So they said second best, Johnny Moss. But Crandell Addington was there. According to WSOP.com, he has finished runner-up in the main event 3 times. He finished runner-up to Johnny Moss in 1974, to Doyle Brunson in 76, and Bobby Baldwin in 78. He still has the record for most WSOP main event final tables with 7, which is probably a record now that's never going to be broken.
Yeah, it'd be pretty difficult.
And unfortunately, he passed away on April 14th at the age of 85 in Texas, San Antonio, where he lived most of his life. Like I said, he hasn't really played poker in the modern era. He was inducted into the Poker Hall of Fame in 2005. I think that was the last time he came out to Vegas in the World Series to get inducted alongside Jack Binion. He was good friends with Doyle Brunson, traveled the Texas circuit with him. And I don't know. This one hit me pretty hard because I am a big lover of poker history, and I knew who he was. And were you guys familiar with Crandell at all, or was this, news of his passing kind of what brought his legacy to your attention?
Yeah, the only thing I knew about Crandell was when we talked about Hall of Fame votes the other time.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we brought up Crandell. I'd never heard of him before in my life, so whenever he passed, I obviously read the article and everything. And yeah, I've never heard of Crandell, and he did a lot of things for poker. that's crazy.
Yeah, first off, he dressed nice at the table. I don't know if you've seen his nickname, Lindsey, is Dandy, because he dressed head to toe.
Dandy?
Dandy, yeah. Because, back then in the 60s and 70s,
Crandell Dandy Addington?
Yeah.
Is that?
Well, that's what his nickname was, because, I don't know, if you dressed
he
nice back
dandy.
then, you were a dandy
he was
fellow.
Smooth. Yeah, no, okay. He was in a zoot suit. I got you.
But imagine that. Imagine he's head to toe in a nice suit in Texas in the 60s and 70s when air conditioning really isn't a thing, but he never took his suit off.
He could have been Crandell Stanky in that situation. Loud.
What about you, Lindsey? Did you know about Crandell Addington at all, or was his passing kind of news to you as well?
I did actually, but in a small capacity and stuff. Definitely not as much as I would have wished to know previously. But I knew about the main event final table finishes and the record of them. And his sharp dressing, actually, because, by this point, I think it was probably 10 years ago. I can't remember which year it was, but when Max Steinberg final tabled the main event, that was an aspect of why he wore a suit the whole time.
Yeah, every girl goes crazy for a sharp dressed man.
And that, was, different elements and stuff. But Crandell was brought to my attention at that point. That was some amount of homage.
Yeah, I think he's like the original OG when it comes to dressing nice. So, Tony Dunst falls in his footsteps.
Yes.
The late Mike Sexton also did, and were advocates of dressing up. And as you said, Steinberg dressing up at the final table. And you still see it from time to time. There are poker players who dress nice when they make it to the final table.
Oh, Liam Gannon might be a young Crandell Addington.
Yeah,
that's right.
Wow,
he
he's
won
a
ring
young
last
Crandell.
night.
Yeah, congratulations to Liam for the Run Good Series ring. Good for him.
Yeah, kicking it off in style. Crandell Addington was actually responsible for one of the most famous poker lines, quotes in history. It was, "Limit poker is a science, but no limit is an art. In limit, you're shooting at the target. In no limit, the target comes alive and shoots back at you." That was Crandell Addington.
A famous quote. I've heard it many times.
It's, I just think, I've heard it many times. I've read it in a book many times. But, nobody plays limit poker. Well, no, I shouldn't say that. Those people who do play limit poker are screaming at me right now.
Holy cow.
They're going to slip in the comments.
Limit poker is a lost art. Here, let me get a quote. Limit poker is a lost art. That's it. That's all I've got, actually. I've got nothing else.
I think it was a year or two ago at the World Series of Poker. It was my day off, and I tied one on. I was drinking pretty good, and I'm like, I want to play some poker. What's going on? It's a 1,500 limit hold'em event. And I'm like, I'm not a limit player, but I wanted action.
Yeah, it's frog.
Yeah, and I was late registered it, and I went in there, and I just crushed the table, ran over that table for a couple hours, and then just quickly went downhill real quick. And
Sure, that's fair. Yeah.
But that was fun for a little bit.
Nice. That is fun.
Yeah, that sounds like the alcohol. Like you peaked at like confidence level, and then like sloppiness took over. Maybe.
Yeah, I think so. There was a famous speaking of like old timers and poker. Main event champions. Bill Smith won the main event in 1985, and Bill Smith was a drunkard. It's a well-known documented fact. He's since long passed away.
I like the word drunkard. I haven't heard drunkard in so long. That's such a good word.
But he was known for like sober. He was an okay poker player. When he had just the right amount of drinks, he was the best poker player in the world. But once he got past that point, he was the worst poker player.
Sure, that makes a ton of sense.
Very small, sweet spot.
Right,
no,
but when he
fair.
hit that sweet spot, and I think, obviously he won the main event, so he hit that sweet spot at least once in 1985. So
wow, yeah, I couldn't imagine being drunk or on drugs ever.
I think, right, or doing a podcast.
I would never eat 700 milligrams of edibles 2 hours before a podcast. I'll tell you that much.
And I'm just drinking water out of my Miami Dolphins mug.
Yeah, there's no LSD in there.
Well, I actually had the honor of in 2020 during the pandemic to interview Crandell Addington. This was a bit of a dream come true for me, as one of my goals is to interview every Poker Hall of Fame member or living Hall of Fame member. And he was one that was not easy to get because, like I said, he hasn't been in the poker world. But thanks to somebody named Terry King. Shout out to Terry.
Shout out to TK.
Yeah, TK.
In the building.
She is like a poker historian extraordinaire. She's been around the game for a long time. She knows everybody, and she made it happen. And I thought it would be fun to share a few minutes of that interview. Now, this interview was audio only, so you're not going to see me and Crandell on screen or what have you, but we're still going to play the audio picture of Crandell and him talking about the World Series of Poker in those early days, which I thought was appropriate given the 2024 World Series of Poker is just around the corner. Here is a little clip of my interview with Crandell Addington.
No World Series of Poker was never really intended to be what it's become. In 1969, Tom Moore from San Antonio, who was a friend of mine, who I moved to Reno with in 1967, we were trying to buy the Holiday Hotel and Casino downtown on the river in Reno. And it was the locals' casino, and the owner had died in a plane crash. So anyway, I was not married at the time, but I'd been playing in the biggest poker game in the country out at the casino that he and another man ran illegally here in San Antonio in Castle Hills. But they had the biggest poker game in the country out there. And so I'd made quite a bit of money playing in that game. And so Tom asked me, he said, "You want to go to Reno with me and we'll buy this casino?" So I took a piece of it and I moved to Reno with him. But we never could get the license we couldn't get it out of Newt's estate. Newt Crumley was the man's name.
Sure.
That had died in a plane crash. So anyway, in 1969, the precursor to what became the World Series of Poker was staged in Reno. And it was not a tournament. It's a whole bunch of the best players and bookmakers and high rollers in the country got together there at the Holiday, and we played all cash games and all varieties. So at the end of that, Tom decided that Benny and Jack were in attendance. So at the end of that, Tom decided he was going to sell the hotel. He'd finally gotten control of it, but he wanted to come back to San Antonio. So he did, and Benny asked him, he said, "Can I buy this tournament from you?" And so Tom called and asked me about it. I said, "Yeah, I'll sell it to him." I said, "Benny's a great showman. He'll find a way to really promote this." And that's exactly what happened, except Tom just gave it to him. You can find this in the history of the World Series of Poker over at the library, the gambling library at University of Nevada, Las Vegas there.
Right.
And
Yeah.
David Schwartz knows all about it. He's a really good guy.
Yeah, I remember this as it was the Texas Gamblers Convention, I think it was what it was officially called, and then it became the World Series of Poker, as you just mentioned, and then you were actually there for the first ever WSOP.
Oh yeah, but it was also held in the same format. We got together and played cash games, and that was 1970. So those were all cash games, and then we voted on who was the best player. And Jack likes to tell the story. He said, "Couldn't settle this. Everybody voted for themselves." And he said, "I finally decided I'd go around and ask who's the second best player." And he said, "Moss got the most votes on that." He said, "So that's how he became the champion in 1970.
Yeah, that's a great classic story.
Right. And Benny, of course, got plenty of publicity and a sports writer from the Los Angeles Times, I've forgotten his name, that he and Jimmy the Greek Snyder told Benny, "Look, call this thing something and play one game and we'll get you all the publicity you want." And so then he asked all of his favorites, the Texas Road Gamblers, he said, "What do y'all want to play?" And we said, "Well, we want to play No Limit Hold'em." And so that's a game that it took those guys in Vegas where we first started playing really a while to go up the learning curve with the game, And so anyway, in 1971, it became the World Series of Poker, and it was played for 5,000 instead of 10. And I was someplace in 71. I think I might have been in Canada playing in a big game there. He was there in Mexico where they play real high. And so I wasn't there in 71. But anyway, it was a hit. Anyway, that's kind of a short history of how it led up to what it is today.
All right, so there you have it, a little taste of my interview with Crandell Addington. If you want to listen to the entire episode, it is available on the Poker News Podcast. I will link to it in the show notes, and I highly recommend it. And all I can say is just rest in peace to a true poker legend. All right, I want to talk real quick about a new development at Poker News, something we launched just the other day. You're going to get to take advantage of it in any tournament that Poker News is live reporting, including the 2024 World Series of Poker, and that is some emojis. they're all popular with the kids these days. And, you know, I know what some of the emojis are. I know what an eggplant emoji is.
Sounds like we're talking about like drugs or something. Like the kids are all on the emojis. You got to watch out for your children. Don't let them. The street lights are on.
They're doing 700 milligrams of emojis.
Those damn kids.
Well, Poker News has been around in the live reporting game for 17 years. And as a new addition to the live reporting product, you can now use 24 reaction emojis that are available on any single post in live reporting. So, for instance, Mike, you're playing a hand and you double up against Lindsey. Nobody likes that. So we're all, thumbs down or
the fart emoji.
Yeah, or the fart emoji.
Yeah, like just the cloud of smoke.
You came, you saw, and you tooted.
Yeah, no, I'm a tuning kind of guy. You know what I mean?
We're going to flash some of these on the screen so that you can see. These are the sort of things that you might see on, on X, on text messages, WhatsApp groups, things like that. Thumbs up, hearts, poker specific ones like fish and money bags emojis are there. And these launched at the EPT Monte Carlo.
Poop emoji?
Hey, I don't know if it's on. I doubt it.
I doubt it too, but it should 100% be.
They're going to add some. I know that. The plan, these aren't going to be the ones we rest on forever. We're going to continue to add them. Maybe I can talk them into like our faces or something.
Yeah, but like with grills, you know what I mean?
Or like, just like your rings.
Whatever. I like grill, like me going like this, you know what I mean? With like a grill and like, I don't know, some 6 shades. Maybe give me a mohawk or something, you know what I mean? Mohawk's optional. I actually don't like the mohawk, but the rest of it should stay.
Lindsey, do you have a favorite emoji that you use in your, your team hot dog chat with Kyna and the rest of them?
I'm not a big emoji. There are a lot of, praying hands.
That's fair.
I remember the day my mom discovered what emojis were. And
moms love emojis.
Let me think. Does my mom's never used an emoji once, actually. Your moms are emoji,
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I didn't know. My mom, no, she's never done that.
Yeah, it's my dad hasn't discovered. I don't think he ever will. He's 77 years old now. But I always did joke around that the second greatest day of my life was when my mom learned how to text. And the greatest day in my life was when my dad learned how to text.
Oh, okay.
I just don't like talking on the phone.
Yeah, that's fair.
I save all my talking for the podcast here once a week with you, and then I'm back to introvert mode. I'm the type of guy who ignore, let it go to voicemail, and then text the person like, "What do you want? Why?
Wow.
Are you trying to ruin this friendship by calling me on the phone?"
Anxiety.
Wow. Yeah. I will not respond to a text for like 5, 6, 7 days. But if you call me, I'll talk on the phone for an hour.
I'm really sporadic. There's really no way to know what's going to happen with me. I could be answering. I could not be. We could be frogging. No one knows.
I can attest to that because my colleague Mark Papato tries to reach out to you.
Great guy, by the way. We had an awesome conversation yesterday with 20 minutes on the phone.
Yeah.
I'm just like, brother, I'm just a garbage man. He's like, you seem like a right chap. I'm like, yeah.
I told him, you got to understand poker players. Like, they're not the most prompt. They like to sleep in,
That's what I told him. I'm like, brother, just imagine this, right? All around me is fast food and bonks. I was like, and I have no responsibilities, and I win a bunch of money playing card games. I was like, so now think about it. And he was like, yeah.
Everyone around me is alarmed if they get a text before 11 a.m. They're like, what is wrong? There's something going on.
I wouldn't, before I'm going to sleep like 4 a.m. So waking up at 11 a.m., not my swag, unless we've got a date too. Then you got to do what you got to do,
That's right. I want to also share, so the last 2 episodes of the Poker News Podcast came from the WPT Voyage. I was on the cruise ship. I had Robin Poker from Lukas Robinson from Game of Gold, right? Mm-hmm. Did you watch Game of Gold?
Of course.
Oh, yeah. Kyna,
yeah. We would
watch
watch party every week. It was great.
Would you do Would you do it, the show, if they... No? Even if Kyna put in a good word for you?
Man.
No. I have no interest in being on television for that long.
I mean, fair. Well, Lukas Robinson loved it, and I want
to be on the show.
I think you would be good on the show.
Yeah.
I think it'd be fantastic. Yeah, I think it would be pretty good. I don't know.
Get you and the right teammate in the room or in the same team.
Fantastic. You'd be great on it.
I think it would be absurd. Yeah, no, you could get some really crazy ones. Like if you get me and Kessler on there, and dude. Just like gabagoo. Like I'm like sprinkling salt on his meals at dinner when he's not looking. It's like, this is terrible food.
Yeah.
Well, because
are you gonna apply? Aren't they doing?
I don't know.
I think they're doing castings for another.
I've asked.
Yeah?
Not that I've asked, but Kyna and Jeff Platt both said they'd put in a word for me. And I don't know. I never got calls. I don't know. Maybe they're just not ready, for
I don't know if it's
this personality, is it made for TV?
I mean, it's at least made for a podcast show.
Yeah, that's fair. We got to hope at least.
Well, speaking of shows, so Robin Poker, Lukas Robinson, he is a Poker News ambassador. He was on the WPT Voyage. He joined me as a co-host 2 shows ago. If you saw that, part of his journey on there was a documentary that Poker News was filming and producing. And the first episode actually came out today as we're filming this. And I thought it would be fun to just share a few minutes of that documentary, the first episode. It's going to be out over the course of the next week. There's going to be 5 episodes. It's going to be on Robin Poker's YouTube channel. Poker News is going to be sharing it. But check it out. Have a little look at what you can expect.
Morning, Lukas, fella.
Morning.
How are we doing?
Slept well. In Miami, Florida, baby. Mad. Just about to watch the Liverpool game. Then we're going to board the Voyage about 2:30, so I can't believe we're here, if I'm honest.
After Liverpool set the trip off to a great start for me personally, we grabbed some fuel before heading to the port to catch up with the final part of Team Poker News.
Good to see you as well. What up, bro? The whole crew is here. Yes. We're here, baby.
Dude, is that the host of Life? Is that Life Outside Poker? Is that the host of Live Outside Poker?
With Connor Richards, that's the full title.
It was then finally time to get on board and settle into our home for the next 6 days.
See you on there, lads. I'll get the room ready.
Yeah, I was gonna say, wait there.
Loving the bed.
On the bed, yeah. Get it nice and warm.
I'll leave a nice little surprise for you, lad.
Alright. Yes, lad!
Been waiting for you. Where are you, lad?
God, look at the gaff. Look at Oh, look at this. Oh, gotta step out and take a look at this view. Madness. Madness.
Bad, is it?
Not bad, lad. Not bad at all.
Actually in a hammock on a WPT Voyage in Miami. Quite mad, isn't it?
Our first stop, I believe, is the Cayman Islands. Cayman Islands tomorrow, but first we got a little bit of cash to play. We're going to go down, attend a safety briefing.
Yeah, safety briefing, get some food, try the food. Food's going to be a big part of this documentary. I'm going to show you guys. I know everyone loves a bit of food, but more show me. From the UK, American food's a lot better than the UK food, in my opinion, so yeah, I'm excited for that. And then we've got the pyjama parties tonight. Should be a good night.
Alright, should we go take a little tour?
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so there you have it. A little taste of Robin Poker's documentary. If you want to know more, see the whole show, you can check it out on in the show notes. Just click. I will link to it. You can also check it out on all the social medias. That's going to do it for this episode of the Poker News Podcast. But before we let it go, we usually just put up where our Twitters are and where people can follow us. But Lindsey, if people want to keep on top of you and follow your poker exploits and adventures, where's the best place for them to do that?
Twitter or X, whatever you call it these days.
It's Twitter.
It's Twitter forever.
I refuse.
Twitter for life.
Yeah.
Twitter is the best place for me. It's Lindsey is rad. And that's the most, it's a bit absurd. I
never thought about it. It's kind of cool and Lindsey is rad.
Yep. Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
No.
This is crazy.
Ours, we both, mine has been that way for
it's a conspiracy.
A long, always. But yeah, that's.
Well, and you'll be back with us next week, so the audience will get a little bit more. And we've got some fun stories that we're going to talk about next week. If you want, do us a favor, check out the sponsor of this episode, Global Poker. As I said, if you use Poker News as a bonus code, you're going to get some good benefits by doing that. In the meantime, until next week, we'll keep a seat open for you.